The Smith County Commissioners Court met this morning for the first time since controversy erupted publicly over the county's contract with a company that will monitor vehicle speeds in school zones with automated cameras. Smith County Judge Joel Baker apologized for not publicly disclosing the program and the contract.
American Traffic Solutions, ATS, approached Smith County with the proposal for the school zone safety program. I sponsored the Commissioners Court action that led to the contract for school zone cameras. I championed this cause, having researched speeding in school zones, camera enforcement programs in other communities, and discussions with another Texas County judge who was implementing the program. The Commissioners Court took months to consider the program, and we vetted the program legally through discussions with our own counsel, in addition to former Texas Supreme Court Chief Justice Tom Phillips. The terms of Smith County's agreement with ATS were negotiated by all parties. As authorized by the Commissioners Court, the contract was finalized in January after a meeting which included the county's auditor, tax assessor collector, purchasing director, fire marshal, the county's legal counsel, and myself, along with representatives from ATS. There are no upfront costs to the county to launch the program. All charges are billed against the revenue generated by speeding drivers. Smith County will not incur any out-of-pocket costs. As county judge, I should have done a better job of public outreach and education regarding the program. As the presiding officer of the Commissioners Court, I take full responsibility for not leading a more robust public discussion on this topic prior to entering the program. I'm sorry for this error in the process. I've asked school safety program vendor, ATS, to pause and delay the start of the program to allow us to do a better job with communication and outreach.
Then several citizens were given the opportunity to express their opinions about the proposal to commissioners.
First of all, I'd like to thank you for letting me speak and having the open hearings. I want to thank you for that. You referenced the Texas Constitution in your opening. Article 10 of the Texas Constitution says that you have the right to face your accuser. With the camera, of course, that would be impossible. Nobody wants to see kids get hurt. I don't think that's really what this is about at all. This is to raise revenue. This is not a problem that is specific to Smith County, but other counties are not handling it this way, and they're fine. There hasn't been anybody hurt. I agree that somebody doesn't need to get hurt, but this is nothing about children's safety. This is about raising money. It's easy to look at people and say, you know, you're speeding, you deserve this, whatever, and it's not really about that. This is about what used to be called liberty, what we now call privacy, and it's something that's slipping away. We're turning into the 1984 George Orwell police state. The county is our last line of defense against the police state. When our county is the police state, that creates a big problem. This needs to be stopped. It is a violation of the Constitution, and that does matter. And thank you for your time.
When I read about the unmanned cameras in the Tyler paper last week and as well in the Sunday paper, I read the articles several times to try to understand what all was involved in being said. Red flags went up in my mind, and one, I think it's government overreach. The government is wanting to solve a situation instead of allowing the private entities to do that. And I think law enforcement officers and volunteer guards at crossings can take care of this situation as it has in the past. I think this is a more appropriate solution. And two, I think the cameras are a violation of our constitutional rights of privacy. Three, a third-party private company does not have the right to issue citations, influence our speed limits, and be involved in law enforcement, or should be spying on people driving through the school areas. Four, to my knowledge, the Commissioners Court was not approached by schools or parents concerning the speed of cars in the school zones. And five, the unmanned camera use was initiated by a private company looking for new customers to buy their products. Number six, I don't remember anything in the news last August that the use of unmanned surveillance cameras in school zones was to be discussed at the Commissioners Court meeting. And seven, sign a contract for cameras in January but not announcing it until 4 months later is not being open and above board with the citizens of Smith County. Eight, how does the county plan to pay the camera companies if the cameras are installed, American Traffic Solutions, if you don't take in enough fines? My understanding is that the police, sheriff's department, DPS, constables are empowered to enforce the speed limit laws and not the commissioner's court. I just believe this is not a good idea, that it's a constitutional infringement, and that and I do appreciate your apology, Judge Baker, for not letting us know. One other thing, I really wish you'd go back to printing the itinerary in the paper so that people don't have to search the internet and websites or come up to the courthouse and see what's posted on the steps. So it would be very nice and convenient for us citizens who read the paper and seldom go on the computer. Thank you very much.
I'm Larry Meckley, and I'm a retired school teacher. I am for school zone cameras because it will improve the safety for our children. There is no gray area. You're either for improving the safety of children or you are against it. It's as simple as that. And people that are not in favor of improving the safety of children, you don't need to be in a position that decides the safety of our precious kids. I want to mention about what I read in the paper about what Commissioner Phillips said. He said, in according to the newspaper, he said, we are creating a solution where a problem does not exist. I beg to differ. Again, according to the newspaper, in 2013, there were nearly 3,000 speed violations in the Tyler school zones. Are you telling us that 3,000 speed violations in Tyler school zones is not a problem? Are you saying that this is not putting our children in harm's way? This is not a are you saying that this is not a dangerous place or a situation for our children? 3,000 speed violations in Tyler school zones for 1 year is not acceptable. Our children deserve better. You are asking for an action to happen, as already been said. The Tyler police chief says that the visible presence of officers helps encourage people to slow down. But 3,000 violations a year is too many. The officers I see out of school zone are riding motorcycles, and they are not visible. City officials view this program as a money-generating tactic, but for the county, for themselves, they issued 3,000 speed violations in 1 year, which I believe could generate as much as $450,000. Would the school zone camera program take revenue away from the city of Tyler? Could that be the reason why the city of Orange County against cameras?
See, I consulted two constitutional attorneys that I respect greatly. One of them teaches for credit our employees here in the Sheriff's Department, and another took the Heller case to the Supreme Court, the preeminent case in the last 100 years on gun rights, but he's taken other things there too. He sent me about 100 pages and 4 documents on how this is unconstitutional. But here's a summary of what I asked him. There's a constitutional due process issue with any red light camera. Further, these traffic violations are criminal offenses in Texas. So if one agrees to pay a camera fine, they have waived their Fifth Amendment rights, protections, and allowed a civil payment to be used as an acknowledgement of guilt in a criminal action. So that's the problem with the unconstitutionality of it, as far as the people that I know and trust is on the Constitution. So that's it. Thanks.